hello, and welcome, my Leo collective sun, moon, rising signs. Welcome to your full moon to new moon reading for March 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional tutor, a little bit of a runny nose, pardon me, and Leo rising, which is why I asked you to pardon me, because, you know, Leo rising. If you are new to my channel, please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment, all that jazz, because I am very honored to be reading for you today. And with this Mercury retrograde about to go to direct, of course, depending on when you're watching this, hasn't happened yet at the time of this recording, but it's happening in conjunction with this full moon, if you're not aware. So that's a little weird because it's full moon in Virgo and Mercury rules Virgo, so it seems a little interesting. I wonder what's going to happen on Monday. We shall see, right? And we shall see, at least for the Leo collective sun, moon, rising signs. This is a what do I need read, so what we're going to be doing is be pulling one card from 7 different decks to sort of get you clues, tips, hints, pieces of the puzzle that you can kind of remember and follow along for the next 2 weeks, right? From the new moon in Virgo to, the full moon in Virgo to the new moon in Aries. Because the 9th is the full moon in Virgo and the 24th is the new moon in Aries. So again, you get that 2-week period, which is half of a moon cycle, all right? All I need you to do, though, for this is just remember to breathe, and remember this is a general reading, right? It's not going to be like fingerprint specific for everybody. Sometimes that happens, and sometimes the same viewers get that, and that's amazing to me, considering I don't even know their real names, but you know, that's how it plays out. So please take what resonates, leave what does not, and go check your other signs. That's why I do sun, moon, rising, and to try and keep them informative and entertaining so that you can kind of get the spiritual information that you need through the cards and the divination. But I can't help it. My mom's a teacher. I was born a teacher. I was born to a teacher and born a teacher. But I am a teacher of spirituality and metaphysics and have been since 1990 officially. I was doing it before then. But that was when I got my first gig, basement of Body, Mind, and Soul in Huntington Station. I've been doing this for a while, yeah. And I've been reading tarot since I'm 12. I'm going to be 52 this year. So, you know, glad to be here, glad to be serving from my dining room. Rock and roll. So please remember to breathe as we go along. It'll keep you in the present moment. I'm going to be doing the same every time I shuffle the cards or do a card pull. I'll be really tuning in with the breath to my different pantheons to get you the clearest guidance and grace I can get you for this full moon to new moon next. Shall we? Breathe. All the decks that I read are in the description box below, all the way at the bottom, so go have a look and you'll see other products of mine, right? My ebooks are in there, my website's got a lot of cool stuff on it, you'll see, as well as I did a video explaining how I bless the cards. I did that yesterday. That was a fun one to do, as well as a thank you for my subscribers for getting me to 1,000 and monetized. This video you're watching most likely has been monetized. So let's dive in and see what I can get for you. Nice deep breath, please. My collective pantheons, I love you all so much. Please, one card in clarity, a Caroline Mace archetype card for this Leo collective sun, moon, rising sign for this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries, please. And what an interesting new moon that's going to be. A new moon in Aries, the beginning of a cycle with the first sign of the zodiac. So this one could be very key for us, I have a feeling, considering we're gearing up with a Mercury retrograde going direct. So please, what is the archetype card that this Leo collective sun, moon, rising is dealing with within themselves? Nope, no flippers, please. Within themselves, within another, or within the situation that they find themselves in of import that they need to know about for this full moon to new moon next. Please, my pantheons. There we go. Takes a while. Have a chocodile. All right. The dominant energy for you, now again, this can be within you. An archetype is a soul pattern, a piece of your soul contract, something you came in to develop in this life. What's written on these cards is a shadow attribute and a light attribute, and the shadow attribute is supposed to trigger you. It's supposed to be toxic. It is toxic. It's the stuff you want to keep hidden either from yourself or from everybody else, right? You don't want anybody to know about it, and everybody's got shadow content. Embracing the shadow work, that kind of stuff. But the light attribute is sort of what you're shooting for, right? And during this waning moon, because it's new moon to full moon, the moon will wane. Lead, if you like, the shadow, has 3 more atoms than gold. So 3 things, in a way, symbolically speaking, must be burned off, transformed, or released, let go of, in order to go from the toxicity of lead to the health and vibrancy of gold. Cool, cool? So you've got the gambler archetype. Very intuitive, the gambler, but it's funny because gambling magic is particularly good for Leo moon. It's Leo moon now. Well, I'm talking about like gaming and stuff like that, and throw the dice, steal the rice kind of deal. So let me read you the shadow attribute first of the gambler: relying on luck rather than hard work. And look, we all take gambles like that in life, here, there, and everywhere. But this is talking about a risk, a gamble that is being taken, where in the shadow, if you really don't want to do the hard work, have a look at that. Leo energy is solar energy. It is the god Apollo who's up there. I don't know if you can see him now. He's out of camera shot there. No, I'm not going to get him. He can chill. He was down here for the live super chat that I did today for Leo moon. So really kind of look at your own creativity, right? Look at how you want to put your creativity, at that a creative solution is different than relying on luck, right? Instead of hard work, work smart, not hard, work creative, not hard, but hard work is necessary, particularly on the path, the spiritual path. So relying on luck instead of that is tricky and shadowy, and you usually end up blaming things other than yourself. It's just a bad situation. Where the light attribute, and I adore this, willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you, right? When you say, no, I really want to go do this, and other people are like, why in the world would you want to do that, right? It's like, I don't know, I can't explain it, but I'm going to do it, right? That is freedom, but it is also a risk. So either that is you, or that is someone dominant that you are dealing with, and I don't mean necessarily dominant in your life, but dominant in this reading, this period of time, from full moon to new moon next, or perhaps a risky situation where a gamble is required for all involved. Cool? Let's. That was the collective pantheons. Now we're going to go one by one through those pantheons of different dimensions, if you will, different frequency bands of deity, and see what their point of view is. Next, we're going to use the Healing with the Angels Oracle by Doreen Virtue to ask the angels what they see in their celestial broad stroke. Nice deep breath. Oh, my angels, please, one card in clarity for this Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. What is going on for them? What do they need this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries? My angels, please, one card in clarity. March 2020. Here we go. And what do the angels have to say along with this gambler? Enchantment. Now, every time this card comes up, I preface it by saying it's not my favorite word. Oh, the card's beautiful. It's got a unicorn on it, but let's be clear. A unicorn, oh, it's so beautiful. It's so pure. A couple of tons of raw muscle with a deadly weapon on its head can only be trained by a virgin. Where are you going to find one, right? So there's that thing of that it looks one way, but it's not really what it appears to be. Is why I don't like the word enchantment. In even a magical enchantment, it can be a rock in your driveway, but it has been enchanted to protect the house. Now that's lovely and benign to an extent, I guess, unless you're the thing it's being protected against, right? But it's good to know. I'm a Virgo. I want to know. But I am Leo rising, so I do appreciate the art of enchantments that way. But connected to this as well is keep in mind that there are things going on behind the scenes spiritually, perhaps things in the divine plan, perhaps things The gods, the angels themselves are machinations. They're giving me the words. There are things going on behind the scenes that you don't see, right? And hence that gamble, right? Well, but that makes sense, right? It's not necessarily a gamble if you know how it's going to go, right? It's not a gamble at all. That's not even a risk. That's an action. An action with a pretty much guaranteed outcome. So let's keep going. We're going to get, like I said, 7 of these, but already the gambler and enchantment, I get a connection there. Not just intellectually, I can feel that, right? It's like taking a gamble walking into an enchanted forest. Well, it looks like a forest, but there's shit in there that shouldn't be in a forest. So let's ask the goddesses through the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, since that is more yin, right? That sort of hidden interior, spiritual, mystical stuff. Nice deep breath. My goddesses, please, just one card in clarity. My goddesses for this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign. What do they need, right? Well, we've got the gambler, so they need to know about the gambler. They need to know that things are not as they appear to be, and that there's probably some divine thing at work. So for the energy of the divine feminine, the goddesses, the goddess herself, please, what do they need, this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign, this full moon to new moon. Next, Daughters of the Moon Tarot, the Lover's card. Okay, Major Arcana card, and I have noticed that when I do single card draws using tarot, it's not always Major Arcana, but it usually is. And the Lovers here, I know people want to immediately jump to romance, and I understand that, but if you really look deeper into the card, and traditionally, particularly going back to the Rider-Waite deck, it's Adam and Eve. It's about a decision between or aligning the head and the heart, right? The divine mind, the divine heart, right? Sacred truth, sacred love, however you want to play that out in terms of polarities. Because what happens when the head and the heart don't agree? Well, the throat chakra has to make the choice, right? And not just the choice, Major Arcana means a life-changing decision, like the word incision. This can't be uncut. Oh, you can decide yet again at another time, but you can't do both, right? Unless that's the decision. That's it. We're doing both, right? It's like we're getting Chinese and pizza. We're getting Chinese pizza. You know how people do that? A bunch of people all want different things in takeout. Well, now they have services that do that for you. Drive it right to your house. But in the olden days, we used to have to trek across the frozen tundra to get our pizza. They still delivered. By dog sled, Pony Express, Tony, the Pony Express. So here we have Aphrodite, the Lovers, and I get it, that enchanted thing, right, with that enchantment. But this, in other words, what this is saying is this decision may not be as obvious as one would think, hence the risk and the gamble with that enchantment. So that's the vibe I'm getting on this. You might want to slow it down a touch or at least get more clarity. And yes, a reading gives some clarity. It gives intuitive pointers, things for you to focus on and tune to. But let's see what the divine masculine, the gods, have to say with the mythic tarot. Nice deep breath. Hey, you get in there. You had a jumper already. Breathe. My gods, Apollo in particular, if you would please, because you know how much you love enchantment. He doesn't. He likes clarity, right? He's very by the book. He's very classical music and ballet that way, very much structured. Apollonian art is very meter. Dionysian, his exact opposite, is more my speed, but I adore Apollo. So, my gods, but Apollo in particular, if you would please, one card in clarity for this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign, that it be a channel of your divine guidance and grace for this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. From this new moon to, this full moon to new moon next March 2020, please. There we go. That took a little work, but I'm glad we got that on the table. Let's see who we got. Ten of Wands. Now, Ten of Wands, like in the Rider-Waite deck, it shows some type of exhaustion, right? Even the guy like lugging the Ten of Wands all the way home. Here, we have the completion of the quest of Jason and the Argonauts, right? It's like the ship is in pieces, the Argo, hence the Argonauts. The golden fleece is at his feet. He has attained what he set out to do, but now it's over. And there seems to be a little bit of a letdown in this card, just like in the Rider-Waite Tarot, and I understand that. It's like it's a burden, but you're almost home. This, however, to me really speaks of there is something complete that may not appear complete yet, right? A completion of desire in particular. If you think of the Ace of Wands, right? Very phallic, right? Like that one staff. Element of fire, definitely initiatory, particularly element of fire that way. A desire, a choice, a decision. Decisions and choices, willpower, all throat chakra fire energy. So that there is a completion here that a decision has to be made about, but do you know that it's complete? Is that part of the enchantment? Does it appear complete? Do you think it's complete, divine masculine air and fire energy here? Or is that part of the enchantment too? It just feels like there's something iffy about this. Maybe not all the pieces of the puzzle are on the table, though it may really feel like they are, or more accurately, you want them to be. Just be very careful, my Leos. Creativity in terms of fifth house, right? When it feels so good, I want it to be done, so it's done. Is it? Is it hot batter or is it cake, right? You still got to stick a fork in it and see if it's done, right? So we've got those four on there. But, you know, they might not come right out and tell me exactly what this is. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But with this gambler, it's like, well, what's the point of it being a gamble? This is the development of a soul power over a half a moon phase. With enchantment, with a decision, and with this at least appearance of things being complete, and yet maybe not completely so satisfying. It's different in the Daughters of the Moon. It's the Hora. It's Hava Nagila. It's bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, rite of passage, marriage kind of thing. A real celebration. This doesn't feel very celebratory. And maybe that's just the artwork. Maybe that's just me. But that is the vibe I'm sort of getting on it. Just like, oh. Perhaps a little bit of a disappointment because you might not have gotten what you want, but you got what you need. Ask Mick Jagger. Let's keep going here. We have 3 more cards to go. The next one is from the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. Now, I divided this into its constituent parts earlier today when I did the super chat for Leo Sun, Leo Moon, sorry, pleasure and love reads, love and pleasure card draw. So let me really make sure. I already shuffled them in the pre-shuffle, the blessing of the decks, but let's just be extra super duper sure here. Please breathe. This is the voices of the Ascended Masters. Please, my Ascended Masters, one card in clarity. A piece of the problem, or a piece of luck, or a piece of healing, or a piece of grace, please, for this Leo collective, Sun, Moon, wow, you're being difficult, Sun, Moon, rising signs for this full moon, wow, full moon to new moon next. What's going on for this Leo collective for the full to new moon 2020, please, my Ascended Masters? It's interesting. The vibe on that, it's like the cards were moving, but they weren't moving the way I wanted them to, almost as if they were being moved by enchantment, right? My hands were moving them right, and they were moving left. Well, you got the card of the Erotic. Now, look, erotic energy for Leo kind of goes hand in hand. Leo is more of the romantic sexual energy in my experience, right? It's like basking in the sun. It's fixed fire. Unlike Scorpio, which can be a little dark, a little chip, dip, chain, whip, right? Just using fixed fire versus fixed water there as a parallel opposites that way. Fire and water. But the vibe of this might be that part of what's enchanted here is there might be an undercurrent of erotic energy. Now, I will say this, this is the luck suit, right? So it's not just about getting lucky, as there might be an undercurrent not just of erotic energy, but creative energy, because creative energy can express itself as erotic energy. Now, whether this is a full-on manifestation in physical form of you with somebody else, whether it's an experience of your own erotic energy, because it's a luck card, I'm going to say that it's going to beneficially influence this. This now takes this Ten of Wands into a whole other different vibe in terms of completion of desire, but as the result, or at least including, a life-changing decision. So only, you know, the individuals here are going to know exactly how this plays out. This is not a full spread. This is just a 7-card draw. Sounds like a poker game. Let's play 7-card draw. Isn't that? And then 7-card stud. Yeah, I don't remember. People are always like, let's use your tarot cards to play poker. It's like, let's not. Let's not do that. Not that my cards would mind, but I think they would have a field day just freaking people out. I've got 10 death cards. There's only supposed to be 1 in the deck. Somebody call a playwright, screenwriter. Let's ask the higher selves of all involved through the Whispers of Love Oracle what's going on, because the higher self, it's been debated and talked about for a really long time. What's the difference between the soul and the higher self, right? To me, the higher self manifests different souls that then incarnate into different lives. So it's a bit of a hierarchical way, but who actually knows? We're not going to know until we croak. But for me, the higher self, I see it as the guardian angel, right? Me in a higher dimensional plane, hence higher self, right? A higher dimensional version of me. So considering I am Leo rising, I could be in this one. So let's take a nice deep breath and let's see what we get. The higher selves of all involved, mine included, please. 1 card in clarity, a Whisper of Love Oracle card for this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign for this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries, please. What is the Whisper of Love you have for us in the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs? Slow down. Like I said, major decision, enchantment, 10 of Wands, right, with the erotic and the gambler. Slow down. I mean, you go back it up. You'll see. I said you might want to slow this down. When you are excited, you get ahead of yourself. Take some time to allow things to unfold, and that can even be the burnout of this 10 of Wands, of being so excited and so ramped up. But there's an enchantment here. Things are not as they appear to be. As I've been saying to people, not just my students, you know, I have this Facebook group, private Facebook group. Nobody knows anybody's in it but me. Mark Angelo Lyons Mal for short is the name of the group. And we've been talking a lot about Mercury retrograde and how it appears to be such an ass grinder, but really it's helping the soul evolve. It's teaching you patience. It's giving you the opportunity to rethink everything, redo, rebirth. So it is absolute to your benefit. But the big message for Mercury retrograde is slow down, right? So when you are excited, you get ahead of yourself, take some time to allow things to unfold. And particularly with Mercury retrograde, yes, go ahead, cast for what you want at full moon if you're going to do it. It's full moon in Virgo, right? Mutable earth. Healing, health, occupation, you know, what you're, not just work, occupation, but things that you want to occupy yourself with, maybe a bit more long-term there with the earth sign. So slow it down, take your time, make your way through this, particularly with this card of enchantment and the gambler with a life-changing decision. Do not rush this. Don't. And your Leos, your fixed fire. Unless you're absolutely sure you're going to get what you want, even with this erotic vibe here, do not rush ahead. What do they say? Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. I don't think the angels are fearing to tread here, but there feels like there's a risk. Not sure what the type of risk is, but with this 10 of Wands, it might not be exactly what you want. You might get it and be like, is that all there is? I went through all of that for this? In other words, things are not as they appear to be. Slow down. Because it also can be you might be wanting it and so revved up that by the time you get it, you're exhausted and can't enjoy it. If you've ever gone on vacation with people, right, and they're all just like bitching and moaning and complaining and the delays and stuff, and then by the time you get to the place, everybody's exhausted from the bitching and moaning and the traveling and the moving. It's sort of, it takes the initial fun out of things, right? So take the risk if you have to, but know that there's an enchantment here that you might not get exactly what you want out of this, but it will be a completion. This erotic card, I just keep hearing, don't let that sway you too much, although you're a fire sign, right? Can mean all sorts of things, the erotic, but it does feel like this involves another person, at least one, right? At least one, you're Leos. Let's breathe. As we are going to get a healing mantra deck card from the Mac Con healing mantra deck, the voices of the Ascended Masters that gave us that card of the erotic, the suit of luck. So with this mantra, you'll be able to communicate using the mind, the voice if you want to speak it out loud, the hand if you want to write it, because you could text it to yourself. That this will be kind of signaling to the inner being, the self, the soul, the inner self, whatever you want to call it, that you are ready to heal in some way through this, that this would help you heal using this mantra. Cool, cool? Let's do this. Last card down. My Ascended Masters, please, one card in clarity. What is the perfect healing mantra card for this Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign? For this full moon in Virgo to new moon in Aries, March 2020, please. Thank you very much. Before I even look at it, one side of the card is the mantra. They're in English, don't worry. And the other side of the card is the name of the mantra, so I can look it up in the little bookie book, which is a wonderful little bookie book, very helpful. Gives a lot more depth, because otherwise that's all that's written on the card, so I'm glad he did that. So who do we have? I keep forgetting I'm in here. Amplifying abundance. Down with it. Now, before I read it, let's keep in mind, abundance just doesn't mean money. I know. Been walking the spiritual path and reading those self-help books and watching The Secret and all of that. Oh, good God Almighty, what the law of attraction did to us all. Made abundance all about the cash, right? All about the green, all about making it rain. But abundance can be a lot. I love the word extra, right? It just means extra. It's like you've got some and then you have more, right? So there's that abundance of it. Abundance is my birthright and I receive it now. I get this one every now and again. I pull a card a day. Abundance is my birthright and I receive it now. And I will say, not like magic words, but as a mantra, it is connecting to something inside of me that does shift me electromagnetically. And then the clients, I have to like put off doing vids because I get clients. I'm sorry, I'm taking the money first. I get $100 an hour for reading face-to-face or on video chat. So, you know, it's like that's how I pay my bills. That's why when I say, you know, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, this is how I pay my bills, and I have for a while. So let's look at this one. Amplifying, where did you go? Amplifying abundance. Abundance is my birthright, and I receive it now. When you are abundant, you feel confident that life will always meet your needs, whether things go according to plan or not. And that's the risk that you take as the gambler here. And the enchantment, you just may not be able to see whether it's going to go the way that you want, right? And I get that on that 10 of Wands. You're going to get something. There's going to be a completion, but is it what you want? When you're amplifying abundance, you can be confident that life will always meet your needs, whether things go according to plan or not. Abundance is not a matter of having more than enough, but of seeing from the soul's perspective that only your ideas and beliefs can ever limit your experience. That might be part of that slow down thing, so that you can make a decision to really look at this differently, both from the head and the heart. Abundance is a readiness to be supported by the universe in exchange for letting your light shine at full capacity. And I think that's part of the risk too. You're like, I'm feeling this calling. I have to go do this. I may not get what I want. It's enchanted. It may be a wholly other different thing, but I have to do this because I have a feeling it's going to change my life, and you're hoping it's for the better. because there's some kind of erotic vibe there, which, you know, we think immediately is sexual. Kind of hard not to. I mean, the idea of the erotic is purely an energy within the nervous system, the chakra system, the energy system, the kundalini, is lovely. But with that card of the Lovers there, that's a little too on the nose for it to be just about one being. This mantra is ideal for unraveling beliefs of lack and scarcity. That could be involved in here. Overcoming fear and increasing confidence. Now look, I have never known at least a Leo sun sign to be lacking confidence. So a lot of times they fake it until they make it. Otherwise, there's the thing of the cowardly lion, the cowardly Leo. I've dated a bunch of them. So to take the risk can be a scary thing, but with this kind of high voltage erotic energy here, using this mantra, abundance is my birthright and I receive it now. It's not even I claim it now, it's I receive it now, that it's already yours. It's about shifting the way that you look at things, and that might be what this enchantment is all about. You might not even see that what you're going through is a major life change, but with that 10 of Wands, it might be that you're experiencing some dissatisfaction. Thank you, that's the word I was waiting for, apparently. But with this erotic energy pulling you forward, it's saying, slow down, kitty cat and kitty girl. It's your world. Now I'll have that song stuck in my head, which I'm totally cool with that. I love that song. Because you're going to have to most likely take a risk here, and I think even not going for it would be a gamble for you, because it does feel that strong. So let's put it together. So you've got the gambler archetype here, and I love the light attribute of this, because Lord knows I've taken this risk. Willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you, because this is enchanted. Maybe you can't see. Maybe what's ahead of you is enshrouded in mystery like clouds. But there's something calling you forward, that Lover's card, that you know it's not going to be a thing of maybe I'll do it later. It's no, I either have to step forward into this and change my life, or not and change my life in a different way. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you don't take the risk, there will always be that feeling, right, of I should have, or I could have, or I'll never know, which is like an itch you can't scratch, right? If the major arcana cards are like that. But from the Mythic Tarot here, we've got the Ten of Flames, that maybe you're already at a place of completion of desire and are a little meh about it. You're like, meh, right? Not so much. And then with the erotic energy, that feels like that's what's pulling you forward into this, to say, take the leap, take the risk, do it. It's too hot to not. Oh, that's good. It's too hot to not. Now, too hot not to cool down isn't new, but too hot to not, I like that. But that's why even your higher self is saying, well, slow down. It doesn't mean don't do it, but it means slow down. Look where you're going. Things are enchanted. They are not as they appear to be. But you can amplify your abundance here with this mantra, abundance is my birthright and I receive it now. It's not all about money, but it might be about what? As it said, the confidence to say, doesn't matter what I decide. I'm receiving. Abundance is my birthright and I receive it now. And I'm going to have an abundance of confidence, an abundance of faith, and I'm going to walk through this. Even though it is waning moon, I am going to really alchemize this and do the work, right? What's the shadow side of this? Relying on luck rather than hard work. This might take you some hard work, even though others may doubt you. So may the Leo collective sun, moon, rising sign, I am one, be blessed for this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries. Blessed with all that they need to take the journey to amplify abundance and to slow down taking the erotic risk that seems to be before them, which would be a decision, a Lover's card decision, changing their life for the well-being of all. So mote it be, and so it is. Thank you for watching, my Leos. Please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and please comment if you like in the comment section below. I do like to hear if people are like, oh my God. So even if this happens after, you know, this makes sense a couple of days after, if you can remember, please do comment. Because, you know, puzzle pieces, it's nice to have other people say, this is how I see it, that's what happened to me. Ooh, I think that's what that means. It just creates a more in-depth conversation. Cool, cool. Thank you so much for watching again. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of this new moon to full moon next. But for now, my Leos. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.